And welcome back to the CincySportScn podcast, your home for all things Bengals, Reds, Bearcats, and FC Cincinnati. We break down the week that was in Cincinnati sports, mix in trivia, where we can play along and bring you hot debates with a fun local twist. Tonight, we're talking Bengals, debacle in week 3, FCC road thriller in LA, and then the Reds' final push to make the playoffs. It's not looking great as we speak here on a Wednesday evening. And then, of course, our topic of the week is our Mount Rushmore of last names, A, B, and C. So let's get right into the podcast. This is episode 146. All right. Oops. Talking about the Bengals. Let's just go ahead, get right there to the nitty gritty. Not good at all. For some of us that, me included, was, I wasn't completely distraught that Burrow's injury could have been we weren't going to go 14-3 or 13-4 like I picked, but I thought maybe 10-7. But after that drubbing, I don't know. I really don't. I don't think we'll be 9-8. I think 7-10, 6-11.
I don't even know. You got to remember, this was Carson Wentz led by Kings.
Right.
Carson Wentz, who has been 6 teams in 6 years because they put up, granted, they had 2 defensive scores.
Yeah.
38 points. Take away the 2 defensive scores, it's still 34-10, which is unacceptable. Right. So, I saw that it was the worst loss in Bengals history.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how that can happen with how bad the Bengals were in the 90s. To have the worst loss in franchise history come now, when you have some of the best players you've ever had, it's just absolutely awful.
We're going to start the rumor here tonight. I told Crawley that we're going to start this rumor. We want to bring John Gruden to Cincinnati as the next head coach. Get rid of Zach. Bring in Gruden. I know that probably won't happen because the Bengals want yes men, and Gruden definitely is not that. But Gruden will tell Burrow to get his butt underneath center. We're going to do some play action, and we're going to run the ball. We're going to get an offensive line that can block worth a darn. We're going to get a defense that's mean and nasty. That's just Gruden. That's his persona, and he's great with quarterbacks. That's the rumor here. We're going to bring John Gruden, Mike Brown. Hope you're listening. I know you're one of the.
It'd be great, but
the 29 subscribers. You
already said it. He's not a yes man, so.
Yeah.
In my, granted, Marvin was here for forever, and Zach's been here now 7 years. So, my Bengals memory is not great. But of those two, they're both first-time head coaches who don't have, and before Marvin, it was, who was it, Dick LeBeau? Was that before Marvin?
Well, yeah, maybe
or was
Dick LeBeau.
A coach before?
Well,
but he was a first-time coach, too.
Yeah, Dick LeBeau,
they
Bruce
love these
Coslett.
They love these first-time coaches who
Dave Shula
don't have enough cachet to tell them no.
Right.
It's like, hey, we're giving you this opportunity to actually be a head coach. You've been, in Zach Taylor's case, you're freaking quarterbacks coach for the Dolphins because you got fired from UC because you couldn't freaking score points as their offensive coordinator, for crying out loud. But we'll give you the opportunity to be a head football coach just because Sean McVay breathed in the same room as you one time. You think of all these offensive geniuses that are out there. Freaking get the ugly stepchild that they lock in the basement. For crying out loud.
Wow. It was just, awful. It was awful all the way around. 2 rumors I've heard out there, not including the rumor we just started, but two thoughts. One, do the Bengals give up draft picks or trade for either Russell Wilson or Jameis Winston? Yeah. Russell, no.
Russell will. Jameis, maybe.
Maybe.
At least it'll be fun. The games will be fun to watch.
Right. He'll sling the ball down the field and
right. I mean,
those
Russell
kind of
Wilson,
things.
they had a 1st and goal, and he threw the ball out of the end zone 3 times.
Yeah. I mean,
whoever is saying, "Oh, let's go get Russell Wilson," you're dumber than Mike Brown. You're dumber than the Blackbirds.
Well, that's because he's available, right? Yeah, I'd rather have Jake Brown.
Available.
Right. He lost his starting job.
Yeah, Jackson Dart.
And then the other one is, with Nick Bosa going down. They were saying Trey Hendrickson could be a trade candidate to San Francisco, and the caveat would be if it would be a 1st round pick it'd be a 1st and a 2nd round pick if the 49ers make the playoffs and Trey re-signs. So it's a 1st and 2nd round for that. If they just make the playoffs and he doesn't resign, it would be a 1st round pick. If they don't make the playoffs and he doesn't resign, it would just go down as a 2nd round pick. Would you do any of those?
I mean, it's still only week 3. I mean, I'm not optimistic by any stretch of the imagination, but I'm not quite ready to sell the season yet. I think you have to try and make a move to get better first.
Well, here's the thing, and we'll know Monday night. I mean,
yeah, that's true. We will know Monday night because
going
say
into
the
Denver,
Ravens lose Sunday. The Ravens lose Sunday. They're 1-3.
Right.
Yeah. Pittsburgh's 2-1 like us right now, and the Browns are 1-2.
Right.
I'm not worried about the Browns, and I'm not really worried about Pittsburgh. But if the Ravens start 1-3, even if you're 2-2,
there's a
chance. You can't just punt on the season. Now, if the Ravens win, go to 2-2, and you're at 2-2, we're not beating the Ravens.
No, we're not going to beat the Ravens.
We're not stopping them. Now, granted, they couldn't stop us, but that was with Burrow.
Right.
They can stop Browning.
Yeah,
so
they can.
I mean, and I guess that's a good thing that they play on Sunday before we play Monday. But yeah, I mean, Monday, I guess we'll have the definitive answer for you next week.
And, yes, exactly. And here's the other thing too: is even if you're sit at 2-2, it depends on how you got to 2-2. If it was a 21-24 game, sort of like a shootout, like it was last year, then you're saying, okay, all right, we're not that bad. But if it was another blowout, it doesn't have to be 48-10. But if it's 34-14, 34-21,
24.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Then it's seriously, I think, if you can get something because he's not signing back here next year.
No.
Because we're not going to offer him that. So if we can get something for him of value, whether it's a minimum of a 2nd round pick, but a possibility of a 1st and a 2nd round, if that comes to fruition, like I said, it was just a rumor, somebody throwing that out there. Yeah, I would make conditional picks, right? Saying, yes, we'll take a 2nd round no matter what. We'll take a 2nd round pick. But if you make the playoffs and he signs long-term with you, we want a 1st and a 2nd. And if the 49ers balk at that, then fine. Then we'll keep them. And then we'll trade them right before the deadline to another team.
Whoever has somebody else go down. Yeah.
Right, exactly. So speaking of the Denver game, I don't know what to expect. I really don't. Denver, Bo
Their
Nix.
defense is good. They've got a pass rush too.
Yeah. And Bo Nix is who knows what, but he's playing the Bengals defense. And that's
literally anybody who's playing quarterback, me or you, could go off against the Bengals. I'm so serious when I say that.
I don't know.
It doesn't
take one hit and I'm done for the day anymore.
They might not get to you.
Well, that is true. But let's talk about a big road win for FC Cincinnati, 3-2 over LA. That's big, 3 points coming their way. So, what's your take on it, and how's that looking for us as far as supporter shield and then playoff seeding?
So I mean, seeding. Let me pull up the standings here. I know Brenner scored 2 goals, which is awesome to see him. Have a brace, and I think it was his first start, second game he played since he's been back.
Right.
So he's integrating into the team well. just gives us another option between him and Danke and Evander, kind of a three-headed monster. As far as standings go, we're still 2 points behind Philly. They won their game for the Supporters Shield. It's like San Diego tied, so we're second straight up for the Supporters Shield behind Philly. So we definitely still have a chance in the 2 seed right now, 2 seed in the East. So we're in a good spot. Don't really have too much to complain about. We've got Orlando coming up. So Orlando's going to be playing for playoff seeding. And then we play New York Red Bulls, same boat. They're kind of bottom half of the playoffs right now. So they're definitely still, I don't think they've clinched a spot yet. So they're going to be playing for something. And then we have Montreal, who might not even have a team at that point because they're going to all be on vacation in the last game of the season. It's a very real possibility we can get 9 points. And if we do, the Supporters Shield. But like I said last week, I want the MLS Cup. So if it gets to the point where you kind of have to decide between going for the Shield or getting guys healthy, you gotta rest some guys, get some guys healthy. If that's what it comes down to,
right?
But I really like the spot that they're in. I like the team. I like their performance against LA last week. So keep up these next 3 games, and they're going to be looking.
Yep. No Bearcats last week. They got Kansas this week. So, we'll see start of Big 12 play. Satterfield said this is everybody seems healthy, for all Big 12 teams. And, the only really shock is Mike Gundy's out at Oklahoma State.
Not really a shock, though.
Well, it's not, but 3 games in.
3 games in is a bit of, yeah.
Right. Maybe, but, second longest tenured coach in college football. Might be a trivia question coming up, so you never know. Okay, let's talk about the Reds here. When we left you last Sunday, 2 Sundays ago, we were down on our boys here of summer just because they just could not seem to get any traction. Win a game, lose a game, win a game, lose a game, those kind of things. But lo and behold, they swept the Cubs, got right back into controlling their own destiny.
Yep.
And when that happens, we lay an egg because we came out and lost to Pittsburgh 4-2. 1 bad inning really from Brady Singer.
Yeah.
Gave up 4 in the second. We scored 2 in the second.
Ellie had opportunities to score more.
We did. We had people on base, but we kept hitting the damn double plays. And
I think it was 3 straight innings. I think it was 7th, 8th, and 9th.
Something like that, yeah. And
inning double plays in each of them. Yeah.
And then, I'm sorry, Matty McClain. I know
he's got to sit the pine there.
Well, but
he's got to.
I understand. You can look at all these stats and stuff that's saying he is actually having since September 1st. He has a higher batting average than like 6 guys in the lineup, which I get. But the problem is when it comes to clutch time, seems like he is up and he doesn't come through in the clutch. That's what happened. That's this Reds in a nutshell right now. It's like we have no clutch hitters, none. When you absolutely need a knock to get a runner in, we don't do it most of the time. Gavin Lux did it Sunday to beat the Cubs 1-0. Matty McClain got the double. Lux came up next, got that single or double down the line. So, it's rare. And if we're not hitting home runs, we're not winning the games. Because when we hit the long ball against Chicago, we won the games. We hit a long ball against Pittsburgh last night, but we didn't get anything out of it. It's 0-0 right now, top of the 4th. It's a pitching gem. Hopefully, if you're not listening to the podcast, you're down at the stadium. I'm packing the place. Skeens versus Hunter Green. Hunter has, let's see here, he has a 1-hitter going, 5 strikeouts. Skeen has a 2-hitter and 4 strikeouts. So it's a pitcher's duel,
Which we knew it was going to be.
Right.
We knew
and it's
today was.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's whoever can get into the bullpen. And if we can get some runs first. I think our bullpen's better, but we will see. We will see.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, I don't know, it's just the story of the Reds. They control their own destiny, rattle off, 5 straight to get back into control, and then you play the crappy Pirates and you can't beat them.
Right, we can't beat the Pirates. It's like,
it's just, I'm so serious when I say this. I'd rather be playing like the Dodgers right now than the Pirates.
Yeah.
I feel more confident in the Reds.
Right.
Because for whatever reason, these crappy teams, you saw, the A's boat raced them.
They play down. I don't know. It is a young team. And I know from coaching all the years I've coached, when we've had young teams and they look at their opponents' records, they're professionals. They know that, hey, on any given day, any given Sunday, but they still look at their record and saying, okay, whether subconsciously or consciously, hey, we don't have to give it our all because we should beat them. If we just show up, we should beat them. And that's what young teams tend to do. And, you can't flip it on and flip it off. You got to come ready to play, and you've got to be, 100% of the time for those 9 innings. And I just think that we play down to our level of competition way too much with the Hall of Fame manager and the talent we have and the pitching staff we have.
Yeah, we do.
And our hitters are horrible. And so I don't know. I mean, we have to do better. Now, the Mets with the $200 and some million,
$300 something,
some $1 million contract, payroll. They've had 7-game losing streak, 8-game losing streak, 9-game losing streak, and yet they control their own destiny now. I mean, think about that.
Well, I mean, they got off to a hot start. I think, it was the end of June. They had the best record in baseball.
Right. They
did.
I
mean,
they've fallen back, and we just take care of business last night.
Right.
We control our own destiny. Mets have to, win one more game. Now, do I think the Mets are going to go?
The Mets aren't going to win out.
No, they're not going to win out. So
and they if we win out, that means the Mets have to.
Right.
Because we hold the tiebreaker. Right. So, I mean,
and Arizona has no chance. I mean, they have no chance if we win out. They don't, because we're tied with Arizona right now. Arizona has to win one more than us to get ahead of us.
Right.
Now the question is, are we going to go, 4-1 in the next 5?
They have to.
They have to, don't they? Right. So that means they got to take these 2 against Pittsburgh, and then 2 in Milwaukee.
2.
So that's where, because this, this was.
I'd rather be playing the Dodgers.
Right. This is where it all too frequently. What was it? Was it 23 when they closed the season with? Was it with the Cubs or was it with the Milwaukee?
I think Milwaukee was second to last series.
Second to last series. I don't think
they closed.
And we got swept by them.
Yep.
And then
the season was done.
Right. So and this was like, back in the 90s, 96, 97, whatever it was, where, the last game of the season, they were going into Chicago. All they'd do was win 1 and they would be in, and they didn't win any. And that's, I don't know. There's an interesting article in the paper today by Jason Williams. I don't know if you saw that or not, but it talked about Cincinnati. They're saying it's a baseball town, but he's like, I don't know if it's a baseball town anymore, because if it was, you wouldn't have to be doing these $8 tickets, 3-2-1 night for all, the last 3 games, because to try to pack the stadium, billboards saying pack the stadium. I mean, I know it's marketing, but it's like, no, if this was, I don't know, St. Louis, Chicago, and they're fighting for a playoff berth, the stadium would be packed without anybody saying anything.
Part of it is, 2 weeks ago, we were 5 games out.
Right, we were. And
also, people were fed up with the Castellanes. I mean, just straight up. Like, people are just kind of done. So, I mean, if you want to make the argument that devalues us as a baseball town, I'm not going to argue against you. I disagree with you, but I'm not going to, try and get you to change your mind on that.
Right.
Because, I mean, that's kind of the boat I'm in. I mean, just so tired of just them accepting mediocrity and, pseudo celebrating the fact that we're, fighting
Yep.
for the third wild card, going to squeak in at around a 500 record. That's still not good enough, in my opinion, for
No.
what this season should have been.
No, exactly. But
But if they get hot and go on a run, okay, great. And I'm rooting for them to do so, but
right.
my hopes aren't up until they're actually in the playoffs. I'm still, we're doing the podcast tonight. I'm not listening to the game. I'm not watching the game.
Now I've got I watched the game last night because Mom and I were thinking about going down and we just didn't. And then we're doing the podcast tonight because this is the game I would have liked to go see just because I would have liked to see Skeen versus Hunter. Well, Hunter gave up a run, so it's 1-0 Pirates going in, still in the top of the fourth. So, and that's the thing right here. Hunter, you wanted the fans to come out, pack the stadium. Here's your opportunity to go head to head with probably a Cy Young. You gotta outshine them. You gotta outshine them.
Yeah.
And you can't give up. You can't give up a base hit to. Let's see here. Where is it at? Let's see. For summary, scoring. Spencer Horwitz doubles on a sharp ground ball to right fielder. Brian Reynolds scores. Horwitz out at third.
I mean, Horwitz probably is their best hitter. Just kind of looking at his numbers here.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a 260 hitter. It's highest on the team. But, I mean, yeah, I get your point.
Right. But, I mean,
you have no margin for error.
Right. You have to almost throw a complete game shutout again for a chance.
The saving grace, I guess you could say, is the Pirates, the last 3-4 starts for Skeens, they're only letting him go 4 or 5 innings. They're not letting him go.
Right.
I mean, there's no point.
There is no point. Just,
So,
get to the fifth, maybe get his victory, and then get out.
And get out, exactly. So, if he can keep it to 1 run, and then, they're going to have to do work against the bullpen, the offense is. But
well, let me ask you this: going back, having the night to think about it, and I know they came out on Sunday or Monday, and they said they're going to keep the Reds. This is the Reds. They're going to keep the rotation as is.
I didn't like it.
I mean,
because to save Hunter Green for the playoffs, you got to get to the playoffs.
That's the key, right? So we controlled our own destiny. I mean, I would have liked to thrown Hunter game 1 because that's a statement game. You win that game.
Hunter doesn't give up 4 in the second.
No,
he doesn't.
You give up. You win that game. Mets win. They came back and won. Arizona won. You're still controlling your own destiny.
You still control your own destiny. Exactly.
And if tonight against Skeen we lose, we still have an opportunity because the Cubs could win. Dodgers could win. Still control our own destiny.
If we lose against Skeens, Mets win. Now we're 2 back. We're done.
Right.
We're done.
And then even if we get into the playoffs, say we sweep the Pirates, hypothetical, and then we take 1 in Milwaukee, Arizona loses 2 to the Dodgers, they're out, and then the Mets lose 2 to the Cubs, they're out. You don't need to pitch Hunter on the last day.
You could skip him the last day.
You call up Lionel Richardson and let him throw. I mean, whoever, but you don't need to pitch Hunter Green. And that's why I question that move. And I don't know if that was a Francona decision or if it was a, Nick Krall saying, hey, let's save Hunter Green for the playoffs. Well,
to me,
you got to get into the playoffs first. And if Hunter Green is not your number 1 guy,
to me, it seems like a Francona call. It just seems, I don't know, this seems old school. Like our rotation is our rotation. The pitchers that we have are just going to have, they're going to have to get it done.
Yeah. And Singer has been getting it done. I mean, he has been.
He has.
But
I'd rather have Green twice.
I would rather have Green twice. Yes.
Yep.
I would too. Because you know what's going to happen on the last day, right? We're going to throw every arm.
Exactly.
And it's like
we'll still be in. And it'll be essentially a playoff game.
Right. We'll go 1 inning.
We lose.
Right. We'll go 1 inning. We'll throw, who's ever scheduled to start, that Singer scheduled to start. Okay, you're gone, but we've got a short lease and we're going to throw everybody. All but whoever pitched, Saturday night.
The day before, yeah.
Right. So yeah. All right. Well, that's enough on the Reds. Like I said, they're down right now, 1-0. So, we'll just got to make sure. Hopefully, we can battle back and come from behind. Okay. We're going to go into our trivia. Real quick, Sam had the question last week. You want to review that, and then I will throw in
so
that
you got
question.
It right last week. It was the first person to win the Heisman Trophy and also coach the team to a national championship. And you got it, the old ball coach, Steve Spurrier.
Yeah, that's right. All right, so I had two here.
I'd take him as Bengals coach right now.
I don't know. He didn't do very well at Washington. He went golfing more than he went behind the scenes. So okay, let's see. What was the question that I said about the manager? What was that one?
Longest tenured. Is that what it was?
College,
longest tenured?
College. Yeah. So with the firing of Mike Gundy this is a college football one, obviously. With the firing of Mike Gundy yesterday, he was the second longest tenured head coach at one school. Can you name the longest?
Man, let's see. Gundy. Shoot, he went on that I'm 40 rant when he still lived in Kokomo.
Yes.
So that was.
I'm a man. I'm 40. I'm a man. I'm fired. So, yeah.
So, I mean, goodness, we're going Kokomo days. That's hard to believe that there's somebody out there.
Longer.
Is it a power conference guy or is it
power conference guy?
Power conference guy.
Yep. I did not get this when they said, I was trying to think who.
I mean, Saban retired, so he would have been one that would have, given him a run for his money. How long has Stoops been at Kentucky? He's been there for a while.
Yeah, but it's not Stoops.
Probably not that.
No, let me see. Let me exactly see how many years this guy's been.
How long's Dabo been at Clemson? Is it Dabo?
It's not Dabo.
He's been there a while.
Let's see. 1999.
1999?
Yes.
Is it Iowa? What's his name? Kirk Ferentz.
Kirk Ferentz, yes.
Yep.
Kirk Ferentz took over for Hayden Fry in 1999. Yes. That is...
he's probably not much longer for that job either.
No, he's not. He is not, but I don't know.
So I wonder who's third. Would Dabo be third? Do you have that?
I don't have that.
No.
I don't know if it would be Dabo.
I want to say Dabo's been there 2010.
Yeah, I mean, head coaches don't stay very long anymore. I know. Especially power conferences.
Yeah.
Dabo might.
Yeah, I want to say 2010-ish would have been when he got his start there.
Yeah, because, I would have said the Cal's ex-coach, Treadway, Jeff Treadman.
Mm-hmm.
Because he was at Cal forever, but then he went to a smaller school. Guy from Utah might be more.
Whittingham? Yeah, he's been there a while.
He's been there. He's probably third.
Yeah.
I'm guessing.
Yeah.
I haven't. But the other one I was going to give you was the scoreboard stumper from last night. It says, in the last 50 years, 4 players have played for the Reds after winning the most valuable player award for a different team. Can you name those 4?
After winning one.
Yeah. And last night was one of them because they honored this person before the game with his whole thing. Yeah.
Dave Parker.
Yeah, Dave Parker.
Dave Parker was one.
Yeah.
Matt Kemp?
No.
I thought he won an MVP with the Dodgers. He didn't?
Uh-uh.
I swore he won an MVP.
No, he did not.
Okay.
He did not win an MVP with the Dodgers.
Griffey would have won one.
Griffey.
Seattle, so Griffey. Let's see. They more recent? Or they?
Let's see. More recent than one is behind Griffey. Both of them are behind Griffey. Yeah, and let's see.
Joe Morgan. Did Joe Morgan win one with the Astros?
50 years. So 50 years would have been right at this year. So he did not win one with the Astros. He won 2 with the Reds.
I don't know.
Those of you out there listening land, if you think you know that answer, go ahead and chime in. Hit us up on YouTube here and leave your answer in the comments, or you can DM us at CincySportScn on Instagram and Twitter. So we'll come back next week and reveal those answers. So go ahead and see if you can guess them. All right. We're going to move on right now into our topic of the week. And one of our big topics that we like to do here and everybody likes to do is the Mount Rushmores of whatever. And yes, if you did not watch or listen to the podcast, the last one, we did say that Mount Rushmore would be on our Mount Rushmore of national monuments. So we can continue calling it the Mount Rushmore list. So this time we are doing Mount Rushmores of last names, which starting with the letter A, Sam and I did A, B, and C. We came up with what we thought were popular, like the most populous names, and trying to come up with 4. So what we're going to do is I'll share my list, Sam will share his, and then we'll come up with the Cincinnati Sports Scene podcast list for Mount Rushmore for A, B, and C. So the A's will be Adams, the B's will be Browns, and the C's will be Carters. So you want to give me your A's or your Adams?
Yeah, I will give you my Adams here. So I have...
See if we have the same.
I was able to come up with 3 pretty well.
Easy?
The 4th one's going to be a little shaky. So I've got Sam Adams as one. And then I've got John Adams and John Quincy Adams.
Okay.
And then my 4th one, I'm going with Bryan Adams.
The singer?
The singer, yes.
Okay, well, that's good because I had John Adams, I had Bryan Adams, I had Samuel Adams as well. Those
so
3.
3 right there.
3 right there. You had John Quincy. I did not have John Quincy Adams. I'm like, okay, he was a president, but what did he do? I have no idea. I mean, he was John Adams' son. That's the only thing I know, right? It's like what he didn't fight in a war, I don't think. He didn't do this. He didn't get more land for it. He just was a president, right?
He was a president.
He was a president.
I mean, presidents go on Mount Rushmore.
Presidents do. Only 4 of them, though. But
well, we're picking 4.
John Quincy Adams wasn't one of them, so that's up there.
No, but neither was John Adams.
No, that's true. But I went with, I had some others on the list, but I went with Ansel Adams, the photographer, the American photographer, who was very famous.
Don't know who that is.
And a lot of people probably don't. So yeah. It looks like John Quincy Adams by default will be the 4th one. I did have Kay Adams on the list, but
Yeah, that's a more recent, she's known. So.
Right. Kay Adams, Devontae Adams, right?
Yeah, there wasn't really any athletes I felt were worthy for Adams. I mean, there's clearly a lot of Adams out there. I just didn't.
Right. I just didn't find
all-time greats.
Right. All right. So now let's go into all-time greats here for the Brown name. There's a lot of good ones for Browns. Obviously, Jim Brown, Paul Brown, James Brown, the godfather of soul. And then I went the cooking guy, Alton Brown.
Okay. You went. So we had 3 the same: James, Jim, and Paul.
Okay.
And then I went with.
You went with Mike. You went with Mike.
I did not go with Mike. I went another musician. I went Chris Brown. Number 4.
Oh, you went Chris Brown. You didn't go Bobby Brown? See, I would have went Bobby Brown before Chris Brown.
Bobby Brown was on there, but I'm going Chris Brown. A little more my era. So.
Yeah, Chris Brown. I also had Dan Brown, the author. Zach Brown.
Yeah, Zach Brown band.
Larry Brown, head coach.
Yeah, basketball.
Yeah, I think he national championship.
NCAA and
NBA.
Yeah.
And then Brian Brown, who was in Cocktails. He was the bartender, one of the bartenders next opposite Tom Cruise. And then Timmy Brown from Notre Dame and Oakland Raiders. So who do you want to go with? Do you want to go with Chris Brown or do you want to go with Alton Brown?
We took mine on Adam, so we'll go Alton Brown. All right,
so we'll go Alton Brown. Yeah, we got a little cooking guy on there. All right. And then you wanted to go Carter. I thought maybe Clark, but I think Carter.
Well, I mean, if you put a list together for Clark.
No, I got a list together for Carter,
you did Carter.
Instead of Clark. Go ahead. Send your names for Carter here.
So I've got Jimmy Carter.
Mm-hmm.
I've got Dwayne Carter, who is Lil Wayne.
Lil Wayne, yeah.
I've got Sean Carter, who is Jay-Z.
Jay-Z, yep.
And then I went Vince Carter.
Okay. We got 2. So I had Jay-Z, Sean Carter, and I had Jimmy Carter. But then I had another musician, Clarence Carter, who was the sax guy in Bruce Springsteen in the E Street Band. And then I had probably a lot of guys my age's first crush on the TV set. I had Linda Carter, Wonder Woman, the first original Wonder Woman, as a Carter on Mount Rushmore.
Yeah, some other names. Joe Carter, walk-off home run in the World Series. Then I had Chris Carter, CC,
right.
Middletown, a little local flavor there. And then, I didn't put them just because I thought it was cheating, but the Carter family, kind of the first creators of modern country music. They're kind of credited with kind of starting the genre, changing it from folk to more country, what we know today.
Yep. Nice. I had Joe, Chris as well, but I had Gary Carter, catcher for the Mets in the Expos, Vince Carter, and then Nell Carter, who was on the Facts of Life. All right, so we've got two for sure. We have Jimmy and Jay-Z. Do you want to take one and I take one?
I'll take one. So mine would be Lil Wayne.
Lil Wayne, okay. And then I'm going to take Linda, just because Wonder Woman has to be up there. She has to be up there. So, all right. So let's review real quick. So we had John Quincy Adams, Brian Adams, and Samuel Adams for the Adams. For the Browns, we had Tim, James, Paul, and Alton Brown. And then for the Carters, we had Sean Carter, also known as Jay-Z, Dwayne Carter, also known as Lil Wayne, Jimmy Carter, and then Linda Carter. So if you agree, let us know in the comment section if we got these right. They should be on the Mount Rushmores, or if you can come up with somebody else who we totally forgot, because we do.
I'm sure we did. Yep,
we forgot some names out there. When you do Google search and you come up, who knows how many different names come out there. So go ahead and leave us a comment. Let us know what we missed. And then also leave us a comment, because we're going to go next week
letters,
with, D, E, and F. Now, I will say this, that there might be a time where we might combine a couple letters, because if you look at E's and I's, or a Y,
X's,
X's, something like that, Z's, we might have to combine some letters.
There might be an episode where we just do one letter, which is J, and have a bunch of different names, because
like Jefferson, Johnson, Jackson's, right? So something like that. So we may have multiple names on one time, multiple names from the same letter, or we may have to combine some. So, but next week it will be D, E, and F. So give us, who you think. Take a guess. Give us who you think will be our D, E, and F. And we will be coming, if you've been wanting to listen to us on Tuesdays when we drop this, we're actually going to be recording on Wednesdays now, and we're going to probably drop it on Thursday. So, I apologize for all of our listeners on the podcast that like to listen to it on Monday morning on their way to work. It's a great way to kick off your weekend, right? Listen to it on a Friday on your way going home from work on Friday. So we appreciate you listening. We thank you all. And once again, this is the Cincinnati Sports Scene podcast. Do us a favor, hit that like, hit that subscribe, share it with your friends. Let them know that, we talk all Cincinnati sports here. And this week it's been quick, but hopefully next week we'll be talking about the Reds and the playoffs, and the Bengals victory, and FC Cincinnati's push for the Supporters Shield. So until next week, I'm Dave. That's Sam. Everybody, take care.
See ya.